Welcome everyone, Dr. Thor here. Well, it's time to look at another hot mess, a radionic instrument made by a retard, someone who doesn't understand anything and builds crap. Oh, sounds like Don Pettis. Oh, yeah. So the whole idea is that here's another unit. I'm not sure. I've got this many years ago. I think this was made by someone connected to either Josh Warren, Dr. Moldar, etc. I'm not entirely sure, but it's a really typically badly made piece of garbage. I don't know how these people can, how you can even sell something like this, and they're generally not that cheap. I believe this was around 125 bucks or so. I'm trying to remember again where it came from. I've had this for many years, but we can start off with the fact that it's got two dials on here. For what? And of course, you just dial them in space here. No numbers. Oh, well, we guesstimate. Yeah, this is, Radionic is an exact science. You just turn the dial, and you don't know what it means. And why is there two, and where do they go? Good, typical little project box you get for $5 at your, when I guess they had Radio Shacks or some supply catalog, or I guess we would say eBay now. And those kind of things that go with that. You've got I'm assuming that's the witness plate. It's a copper plate, but that is done wrong as well because basically it's a circuit board plate. And you look at this, the copper's on the top, but it doesn't appear that there is any underneath. And I'm going to pry that up and look at it. Apparently this guy was redoing his window insulation and decided to add these around here. It makes it look pretty. It makes it look like a piece of crap, which this is. So let's tear off this garbage and we'll take a look at the, quote, rubbing plate, which is another sophisticated, it's a piece of plastic. So basically it's a piece of plastic, and I don't know what they're insulating here, but certainly nothing of value. You don't insulate a witness plate. And a matter of fact, if you're going to make an electric machine, you shouldn't be insulating it, period. But as we'll find out, there's no connections to any of these plates from the inside. They work by magic. Dragon poo you pull on here. So this is the kind of nonsense you run into. So first of all, you got dials that you have no idea how to set them. It's all just horseshoes and hand grenades. Whatever's close, it's close. And again, close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. So that's the reality that you have out there. So we look at it, it has an on and off switch, but there's no electricity going to this. There is no light that comes on, and there's no battery inside. So again, this is an idiot switch that's supposed to tell you whether it's on and off, and that in itself is a little ridiculous to do, but certainly some non-electric stuff had that in the past, and that's part of that. But, you know, you're either going to be electric or non-electric. So the person who made this has absolutely no idea what they're doing. They put all sorts of crap in the inside of this, made this thing probably in less than an hour, and sold it for lots of money. I mean, this thing's probably worth $10. There's probably $25 in parts here, and that's about it, if there's that much. But what is it, and how do you use it? In plate, out plate, and of course, you're dialing the dials here, and that's how you're supposed to get whatever. So, and this, of course, is your rubbing plate, which is fairly, let's see, has that, let me look at it a little closer. Yeah, it's kind of fairly badly cut. This is kind of at an angle, and it's just a, which is so typical of people, it's just a chunk of plastic. And of course, this is just a circuit board, which again, let me see here if I can find my knife. Okay, so let's take a look at this, at least on the outside. Again, if you want to really see the guts of something like this, you have to be a supporter of this channel and Radionic Tech in general. This wasn't obtained for free. You want to get my expert engineering, you want to look at how these things are made for curiosity's sakes, well, you have to become a Patreon member to see the inside of this. And certainly this is a treat to look into the side of this one. It could keep you in stitches for the rest of the day. So it's better than laughing gas. But it is interesting. So let's take a look at these plates and find out the great technology behind this. And this one, let's pry this up. Now you'll notice here the great connection that's been made with this plate. You'll notice the wires coming through here.
Oh, what wires, Dr. Tour?
Well, there's no contact with this plate at all, so we don't have a circuit. We don't have a circuit over here either. I can guarantee that. Well, I know because I've opened it up in the inside and I know what's there. Take a look at this. Kind of an odd. But of course, again, we have absolutely no wires coming through. There's no contact for the internal circuit with any of the plates which energies are supposed to be going through. This is kind of interesting. I'm trying to figure out what this is. It actually looks like it may be a through and through chunk of copper. I thought it was a circuit board, but it looks like it's actually a thick piece of full copper, which probably at the time this was made was pretty inexpensive. But that's a good couple of ounces of copper there. Just kind of a waste of money. You don't need something that thick and that heavy, if that really is. Let's all look at this and see what this story is. Because I thought for sure this was circuit board, but it's not. It almost appears that these are two pieces of copper glued together, but that may be just the way it's cut. But you can see, again, none of this has any kind of wiring coming up. Let's get close so all of us know that we can look at that for ourselves.
Let's turn it on. Ooh, it makes me hair go pointy.
So what's interesting here, as I said, this is a big lump of copper for no reason whatsoever, just a waste of money. But I'm assuming he had this hanging around, or maybe he bought it like this and could get these squares cheap in some surplus somewhere. So it's a big chunk of copper, but of course it's not connected to anything. You know, large amounts of any metal doesn't really do anything. You want to have it as having thick metal is no better than having a lot of people use is almost like aluminum foil or horribly thin copper. That certainly is bad because it doesn't make sense. You want to have a good piece of copper. On the other hand, you don't need to have something that is like 1/4 of an inch here. It's super thick. And of course, let's look at this. This is just, as I said, a relatively poorly cut piece of plexiglass or plastic. Nothing special here. Nothing on the bottom. These are just glued. You're just glued. They're both just glued on and glued on to the cabinet itself, which apparently is a giant conductor.
Plastic is not a conductor, Dr. Thor. That's why you insulate wires with plastic.
Well, that's right, dumb guy. But apparently this person was dumber than you. So we all have to keep that in mind with the reality that's going on here. Now, the inside is even more of a hot mess. But as you said, we got to save the fun for later for those who are supporters of this organization. But you can hear it all rattling around. And again, let's check out those high-techy dials that you don't know what you're dialing. Ooh, look at that. Turns all the way around, which is better than some. But the whole idea is, what does all that mean? And you're dialing what? So you're getting some sort of rate by adjusting this that is sending energy from the witness plate over to here is how most radionic units work. But this hot mess has really got some very strange stuff inside of it. It's just thrown together. It has fake circuitry in it, just some sort of circuit this person has bought to put it in there to make it look official, which a lot of people do, and try and think that something is going on here. And, you know, there is a science to this. There's a subtle energy science. There's a radionic science to everything. And we have to understand that. It's not just throwing something together and it's meaningless. If you're going to use junky technology like this, well, the whole idea is that it's just a total waste of money. you need to get a symbolic box like we sell, a actual energy manifesting energy cell with a radionic circuit in it and other things that amplify what you put in it. This doesn't amplify anything. It's just a box of junk. Now, if you think you're going to get any results from something like this, and of course, having 2 dials is worthless as well. We know that if you don't really have 9 dials, that you're not going to really be able to dial much in, period. Now, some things need lesser dials because they're so small. And sometimes we do this with our helmets, but 3 is the minimum. And it depends on the tool, etc. Now, why you would do something like that and put the dials here? Well, I mean, you could have put 3 dials on the top here and had a much better design, but that would take some knowledge and some smarts. You certainly won't get that with this steaming piece of poo. So it's so typical of this entire area. And of course, that's why none of this technology has ever went anywhere. As because you get people like this that throw stuff out there. And I don't know where, they don't get their training anywhere. They're not taking courses. There isn't very many radionic courses out there. And certainly there aren't courses that tell you how to build things. They'll tell you how to operate machinery and so forth. I'm the only one that shows you how to build things, what kind of parts to use, what kind of boxes to use. This is all part of our Radionic Institute training, and we're adding to this right now because the industry has radically changed with my recent discoveries and going in a different direction and dropping all the electromagnetic nonsense. This isn't electromagnetic. And by using fake electromagnetic circuits like this has in it, is a total waste of time, doing yourself a disservice. That's really old, stupid technology and thinking, and it's all passé. We need to move into the new understanding of what this technology is and understand the energy, what radionics is and how it flows out of machines and has to be amplified by a real amplifier. And then transmitted by a real transmitter. So it's about time we all do that and stop playing this little game and putting together crap circuits like you get from all of these machines, including machines that sell for thousands of dollars, like the crap FC5, which you never know what the price is. You got to contact the guy and he'll make it up on the phone. Can you send me your zip code? How much money do they make there? So this is the kind of things that actually go on that we really need to be very aware of. And as I said, if you want to see the guts of these, well, stay tuned. Go over to Patreon, join, and you can then see these and so forth. In general, you should be supporting this organization. You should be a member of All Access. You should be a member of Patreon so we can move this science ahead, because there is some very potent and powerful technologies that can be applied by the right person with the right technology that can change your life, that can save your life. It can do all these things if you have the right technology and learn how to use it. So I hope everybody's enjoyed this, and I hope we see some of you people over at Patreon so you can see the guts of this hot mess. Until next time.